If you're an American, you've probably heard of TurboTax by Intuit. You've probably even used it yourself or know someone who has. It's an online tax filing service that allows Americans to quickly and easily file their taxes, and based on their advertising and product names, you would assume that it's free to use. Every year during tax season, TurboTax spends millions of dollars in advertising to let you know that their product is free.
Free.
Free. F R E Free.
Free.
That's right. TurboTax Free is free. Free.
When I see this commercial, I logically think, oh, cool, TurboTax is free. But the reality is that TurboTax makes free filing as difficult as legally possible, and as a result has essentially scammed millions of Americans out of billions of dollars. Before I go any further, I want to give a shout out to the podcast Reply All, episode 144, Dark Pattern. This episode is the inspiration and guide for this video, and you should definitely check it out to hear more about this story and from the ProPublica reporter who broke it, Justin Elliott. I'm going to leave a link down below to the podcast and Justin's multiple articles covering this topic. Before we get into TurboTax, we need to rewind a little bit and get some background information about online tax filing in the United States. In 2003, the IRS made a big announcement that American taxpayers would finally be able to file their taxes online and for free. The original plan was to have a free-to-file service on the IRS website, but instead, the IRS decided that they were going to outsource this job to a bunch of corporations. They picked 17 different companies and told them, you're going to build a service that allows American citizens to file their taxes online and for free. In return for these companies creating tax filing software, the IRS agreed that it would not make its own service for a certain number of years. It seemed like a great win-win-win situation for the US government, the tax filing companies, and the American taxpayers, but it wasn't that simple. Despite the fact that this agreement designated a massive number of citizens as qualified for free to file, these companies took advantage of that situation for their own gain. The biggest and most profitable of these companies is Intuit. Intuit has dozens of programs that it offers for tax filing, and the standard one, and the one that is always being advertised, is TurboTax Free. TurboTax Free allows free filing only if you have simple taxes and make under the income cap of $34,000 a year or are active duty military who made less than $66,000 a year. A 2015 look at data from the Social Security Administration showed that roughly 51% of Americans made less than $30,000 a year, meaning that more than half of American citizens are able to file for free. The way that TurboTax Free tricks almost all of these people into paying at least something for the service is through the language of simple taxes. According to TurboTax, simple taxes mean a W-2 form only. Things like student loan payments, freelance work, and child support mean that your taxes are not simple and you have to pay for one of their deluxe or premium services, costing you usually anywhere from $60 to $200. By law, though, Intuit is required to provide a free tax filing service for everyone who made under $34,000 and all active duty military who made under $66,000. In order to do this, Intuit has TurboTax Free File and Freedom, two different products that allow you to actually file for free if you are under the income cap, regardless of how complicated your taxes might be. So it seems simple, right? If you're under the income cap and want to file for free, then you can just use TurboTax Free to File or Freedom, and then you can file for free. But that's where ProPublica's report comes in. According to Justin Elliott from ProPublica, Intuit made it basically impossible to find or use Free File/Freedom. Firstly, the standard product, TurboTax Free, sounds like it would be the free service, but as mentioned before, it's not. Secondly, Free File and Freedom were hidden on Google search results through the inclusion of a robot.txt file. A robot.txt file is basically a way to tell Google to not index a certain page and therefore not return it as a result during a search. When Justin was doing his reporting, he found that searches for TurboTax Free File or Freedom did not return anything that would actually lead to the free-to-file programs. Going even further, if someone was able to somehow find the Free File or Freedom pages, Intuit made it very difficult and confusing to navigate from there. As Justin reports, if you were able to find the page, there would be two buttons that you could then push. One was a blue button that said Start for Free, and the other was an orange button that said See if you qualify. Above the two buttons was the qualifying text such as active duty military, below the income cap, etc., but The average person who might eventually stumble upon this actually free service would probably just barge right ahead and click the Start for Free button, which would then take the user to the TurboTax Free product, aka the regular product that ended up almost always costing money. As Justin explains in his article, this is an example of a dark pattern, an intentionally confusing and manipulating tactic that websites and apps use to trick you into paying them money. It's not illegal, but the morality of it is definitely at least a bit gray. In response to Justin's reporting, Intuit had a few things to say. The main response was from the CEO, who essentially said, "We aren't scamming people, we are trying to educate them on the best possible tax product for them, and that just so happens to almost always be a product where they have to pay us." He also said hiding pages in Google is common business practice and shouldn't be considered a big deal. Finally, he reiterated that TurboTax was better for Americans than the IRS having its own free service that all Americans can use. Needless to say, this response did not go over very well, and many people called to demand refunds for the services they paid for. At first, TurboTax complied and issued refunds to people who should have been able to use Free File or Freedom, but soon they created a customer service task force, unofficially known as the ProPublica team, to deal with these refunds and essentially shut them all down. They would call ProPublica fake news and explain to the customers that they did nothing wrong and that they would not be getting a refund. This year, Intuit also pushed for the government to renew the agreement between the IRS and these companies to include a line that would prohibit the IRS from ever making its own tax filing service. This passed the House easily and went on to the Senate, where it was expected to again pass easily on to President Trump to be signed, but then the ProPublica stories hit and something unexpected happened. Quality reporting actually changed the government's mind. Without Justin's reporting, it is possible that Intuit would have gained domination in the field of tax filing forever. Even with Justin's reporting and the responses from Intuit, the government, and American taxpayers, TurboTax still functions largely the same way. Free File and Freedom are now combined into one actually free product, and it is easily searchable on Google, but TurboTax Free is still the product that most people will turn to unless they understand what product they need. This is a small victory for the American people against large corporations like Intuit trying to scam people into paying money they don't actually need to pay, but the fight is not over. TurboTax is only the biggest example of this behavior, and as long as they continue to make billions of dollars, they will continue to lobby against the IRS ever making their own tax filing service. Every other developed country on earth has a simple and easy way for citizens to file their taxes quickly and for free, but the United States continues to put corporations' interests ahead of the interests of their citizens. Before I end the video, I want to once again encourage you to check out Reply All's episode about this and Justin's articles on ProPublica. This video would not have happened without their brilliant work, and they deserve all the credit for this story. If you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe for more videos in the future. Thanks for watching.